Hey gang, welcome again to another of OfferVault's great sessions. Tonight you're in for a treat. We have somebody here who not only knows what he's talking about, but can present the material in a fashion that you can understand without having to make notes. And Corey Bornmann is going to explain how the 3 pillars of success with Facebook ads can come your way. And watch out for his special way of presenting it. Corey, on that note, it's all over to you.
Thanks, Rick. I appreciate it. Hey, guys, thanks for coming on tonight. I've got a couple of guys on here with me. I've got David Ford on here with me. He's had a long day, so he's going to probably be a little silent, but he'll be taking some questions at the end. David, can you hear me? Okay. Well, Joe, we've got a second guy. His name's Joe Leone. He's a Facebook expert that has really seen the good and the bad part of advertising with Facebook. He's also a moderator at AF Playbook. His name's Joe Leone. Joe, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Hey.
Okay, cool. David, are you with us?
Yeah, I'm here. Hey.
Okay, good. All right, so I'm gonna start out here. If you guys have anything to add along the way, just feel free to jump right in. We're going to talk about Facebook for a bit. We're going to talk about the tools involved, and we'll take it from there. So, what are we going to learn tonight? We're going to talk about how Facebook ads can kind of be an intimidating place for new marketers. I mean, it's been out for quite a while, but not everybody's gotten into Facebook, and a lot like any new paid traffic source. There's always a bit of a learning curve there, and if you don't know too much about it, it can be tough to get in. So we're going to really break it down to what we're calling 3 pillars of building successful Facebook ad campaigns. Joe and I are going to show you how to do your research, how to segment your target audience, and so that you can really laser target them, and how to build out your ads for the highest possible click-through rate. Now, that highest possible click-through rate is important, and you'll see why a little bit down the road. Some of the important things you're going to want to remember is that Facebook ads are really about interruption. More like PPV is about interruption as opposed to pay-per-click, where people go to a search engine looking for something. The Facebook audience is more in a social kind of mindset. And you need to kind of steal them away from, the game they're playing, or, the person they're chatting to, or, the person they're stalking, whatever. So it's kind of a different mindset there. You need to narrow your target down. We've got a couple of rules of thumb that we like to follow. And also how to drastically cut your pay-per-click costs. And that goes along with upping your click-through rate. Okay, and at the end, we're going to talk about AF Portal. We're doing a lifetime membership giveaway where we're doing big discounts on monthly, yearly, and lifetime memberships. And over the next 72 hours, people that buy, you'll be entered to win this lifetime membership. So just buy any level membership, monthly, yearly, or lifetime, and you'll automatically be entered. And again, that's just over the next 72 hours. So with Facebook, just like a lot of other paid advertising, you're going to want to really have the right tools for the job. With niche research, you need to, one of the best tools that we can have for this is some sort of a spy tool. There's a few out there. Ours is called Social Intelligence Tool, and that's how we get to our niche research. To take a look at our target audience, what we like to use is QuantCast. Everybody's familiar with QuantCast and what they can bring to the table. And then to create your actual ads, because you're going to be using a lot of different images, you can use, there's a couple options. You can use Pixlr, or another option, a free option there is GIMP or Photoshop. So those are really the tools that you're going to want to bring with you so that you can be most successful with OfferVault. With Facebook. Okay, so now we're going to get into exactly what those 3 pillars really are. Okay, and the first one that we're talking about really is the research. And with the research, it's important to know what your competition's doing. Okay, and that's where the social intelligence tool comes in. So we're going to take a look at that. Now, the social intelligence tool, let me back up here a little bit. What this is, it's basically a Facebook spy that is growing in other directions, because Facebook really isn't the only social type of advertising that's out there. So this tool is really geared towards every type of social, as long as they have those paid ads. But for right now, we're talking about Facebook. And what we have is a tool that goes out over, every day and picks off the ads being shown for these 13 or so profiles. Right? It logs in and starts pulling ads on a regular basis every single day. And then that data is then uploaded in the morning, usually by about 8 o'clock Eastern, and it's ready for the day. So if you were to, a good example here, just so I can really kind of cut to the chase here, is Senior People Meet. I've noticed that this pops up quite a bit on the results here, along with a whole lot of others. I mean, you can see that the slot machines are big. Shoes are huge. Boots were big leading up to Christmas. So then it seems like right after the New Year, shoes started coming in, and that's always this offer. There's another Kardashian offer that's in here somewhere that I've seen. But for right now, we're going to look for Senior People Meet. And what you can do is just type in a keyword up there, click search, and it's going to go through the ad copy, the subheadlines, and the headlines, looking for anything that's going to match there. So this is just really from the last 2 days, okay? And it showed up for one profile. Now, this profile is a lady that we're calling Ginny. She's female, age 44, unmarried, and specified that she was interested in men. What's interesting about her profile is that she mentioned Angry Birds once here in her profile, and she gets quite a few ads for every day, almost every day, for an Angry Birds type of offer, because there's several of those also that sit on the front end of like game vans and sit on the front end of PPV. But again, right now we're talking about Senior People Meet. So I'm going to go back. I want to see how far back these Senior People Meet ads have been showing, and which images they're really concentrating on here.
Are you doing this because I'm old? You want me to feel a part of this?
That is not it at all. Are you single? You're a married man, aren't you?
All my life.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, then no, this isn't for you. All right, so let's go through here. And you can see that this guy's image has been really around since the beginning of the New Year. I guess it started popping in around January 7th, and has been in through here off and on, along with this guy. I've seen him quite a few times. Let's see back here farther. We got this, what looks like a minor 49er. Don't know who that is, but he didn't last very long. He lasted a little bit of January and the beginning of February. So you can see that a tool like this can be really invaluable for you. And if you wanted to take a look at shoes, now I'm not just saying that we're not the only Facebook spy around, but we're definitely the most affordable. You can see here with shoes that shoes are just ridiculous, and you can see all the different age groups that they're targeting. And that's one of the keys that we talk about, is targeting small age groups. Now it looks like, I don't know if they have this split out into their own campaigns, because the age difference here between these two profiles is 24 years. So the way I would set this up, and Joe, you'd probably agree, is that you wanted to go something like around maybe a 5-year time span, something like that. Is that what you do, Joe?
Yeah, usually I split it up between 5-year age groups. So like 30, 35, 40, 45, etc.
Okay.
That way, like, you can really narrow down on what age groups are converting best.
Gotcha.
I'm going to jump in if I can, Corey, because I think I'm a bit confused. Maybe some of the folks might be. These are ads you're pulling off of some profiles you've pre-created. These are these people's ads they're running, or these are ads that are appearing on their Facebook page, whether they want it or not?
Okay. Yeah, that's a common question. These are actually ads that these profiles are seeing. Some of these profiles are real people. Some of them are fictitious people. And it's not, I think there's 3 real profiles. Mine's in there. My wife and a friend of mine is in there. And then some of these others are ones that I've created across, various age groups, interests, and that type of thing. So it's not like it's going into, people's profiles and spying on that type of stuff. It's not covert like that. This is all demographic, creatively built profiles. Did I clear that up, Rick?
Okay, so these are generated or built to break up the demographics into target groups. And
Exactly.
then as a result of those profiles being out there, you decide what you want to search for, and you'll see what's coming up, if anything, based on that demographic for whatever keyword you put in.
Exactly. Or you could start really from scratch, and with a tool like OfferVault, actually, if I see something that I like in this, like I'll usually clear it and look over the last 2 days, and you can start to see, groups that are clumped together. So let's say with this design school, maybe I would take this and then go over to OfferVault and check to see if there's an offer for design school or something similar to that. Here's a video game design. So, and you can see that that's $11 lead. So that's how you would use something like this, going kind of the opposite way. If you had no idea of which niche you wanted to go into, this would help you find a niche. Or you could do it like you were saying, where you have the niche first and then go and try and look to see some traffic for it. So let me back up here. Okay, so that's really what we do to get a glimpse at what your competition is doing. We wanted to go into Facebook and see who's advertising for what and to whom they're advertising to. So that's the purpose of using a spy tool. And there's spy tools for mobile at this point. There's spy tools for pay-per-view. There's spy tools for PPC, AdWords, and there's spy tools for all kinds of stuff. So that's one spy tool that we like to use for Facebook. Now with demographics, the site that we use is Quantcast. And the way you can use that is, say, we'll go back to the senior people meet offer. Let's say you have a website, on senior dating type of thing, and like some sort of an authority or a review site. What you can do is then go over to Quantcast and put your own site into Quantcast and see what your demographic really is according to them. And another good thing that you can do, since it is your website, you can verify your website. So you can put their little Quantcast widget on there, and it can give you even better stats. So they don't have to try to estimate your, your demographic and that type of thing. So that's one way that, you can get your demographics from Quantcast. You can also put the product into Quantcast, and that's what we're going to do here. We go over to Quantcast, and we're looking at senior people meet. Let me see it right here, senior people meet, and go down to U.S. demographics. We've got, you can see it's 55 to 65 plus for this offer, which is really kind of strange, I find, because the age group, now I need to get some older profiles into this database. But if you'll see, this one is really doing really well with her. She's like the longest running, and she's listed at 44. So as far as everybody knows inside Facebook, she's really 44 years old, but she's getting a whole bunch of the traffic. So you can see how, I don't have any profiles over 44, so I need to get some of those in there so I could test some of these older demographics. But you can see that she actually falls off about here. And she's not really even listed in there. So we've got two sets of data, and really the only way to get through that is to test, and see what your own data really says. So this is really a good example of why it's good to use these tools as a guide, but really your own data is the thing that's going to tell you the truth. Okay, and you can also pull up your competitors' websites. What we like to do to find competitors' websites is our organic competition tool. And what we would do here is we type in Senior People Meet. And what we're looking for here is Senior People Meets direct competition. Okay, and the way that these domains are pulled is through common keywords. So if, Dating for Seniors has 274 common keywords. So that's how, this tool works. It pulls that in. So then what you can do is grab Dating for Seniors, flip back over to Quantcast again, and take a look at that. Okay, now you can see there's a little bit more in the 45 to 54 age group. I think the demographic, the racial part of this is, for this one is Hispanic. I think for Senior People Meet, I think that was Caucasian. Yeah, so that tops off at Caucasian. And that's something that you can do within Facebook. You can take a look at, some of these other features and things that they mention as far as interest in that kind of thing. Okay, so I just went through that, feed the results through Quantcast for that, those. So Joe, do you have anything you'd like to add there, or how do you like to do your research?
Usually what I do is most of the time I already know like what's converting. Like I've tested it on pay-per-view or somewhere else. But if it's a new offer, I just throw it out there. Like for instance, Senior People Meet. If it, say for example, it takes 40 plus traffic, I'll just throw out there a couple different campaigns, 5 years range, and then throw up like 25 or so creatives and just see how it does. Really, I like my own data best. I don't really look around too much for competition and stuff.
Sure. Okay. And that's a great way to do it for sure. I mean, nothing's going to, tell you the truth more than your own data. That's the best you can gather. And that's why you want to kind of use a good tracking tool to hide that as well as you can, because everybody knows that that's good data. So let me back up here. Okay, so let's talk about our target audience as, and really who's our best customer. We talked a little bit about how we like to break our age groups up, about a 5-year time gap there. And there's some, in your younger age groups where you want to do that a lot more, break it up a lot more, because if you're targeting, say, 18 to 20, that's a lot more focused than if you were to do, say, 18 to 23, because 18-year-olds and 23-year-olds are usually in a whole different place in life. A lot happens in those 5 years. So when you get down to the lower ages like that, I usually target 1 to 2 years. Joe, do you do something similar?
Yeah, actually, not only that, but like when you're doing dating offers in the low age groups like that, you're going to have a huge difference in quality. Like, for example, 18 plus usually doesn't convert nearly as well for 21 plus or 25 plus. So splitting it up like within almost every year, maybe every 2 years, is a lot better.
Okay, yeah. All right, and obviously you can chop it up by sex and preferences, I guess you would say. I've noticed I did, out of curiosity, I made one gay profile, and I'm surprised sometimes at the amount of dating ads that he gets with a woman's face on it. And I'm not sure if is that something that you can target, Joe? If they're men that said that they're interested in men, or ladies interested in ladies.
Yeah, you actually can. You can target men interested in men. So I'm surprised there's not a whole lot. I know a while back they, at least for me, they didn't allow a lot of gay dating. But I've actually talked to somebody else who has been able to get it through. So
Sure.
I'm not sure if they updated that or what.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. So that's one way that you can. Another way that you can really narrow it down there. I guess the key to it is looking as, I guess, unprovocative as possible, because I know that they're not real happy when you submit pictures that are a little bit too racy, for everybody to see. So I like to keep about 5. Again, this is all just kind of rules of thumb, but 5 demographic features like per campaign. So if we already knocked out, like, we've got a sex range, or a sex, we've got a marital status, age, and then maybe put 2 more in there. Say, if you got a dating offer, or games or something like that, you can talk about a game or 2. Joe, how do you usually deal with that? Interest and likes?
I've tried a little bit of both. Some campaigns I'll just do broad and I won't even do interest and likes. That will be usually a lower ROI. But when you do start to target interest, like, say, for instance, an activity, some kind of sport or gaming or anything like that, you're usually going to get a much higher ROI. And to increase the volume, you're going to want to do multiple things. So, like, for instance, say you're going to target a type of sport, say baseball. You don't want to just do, like, baseball. Put in different team names, maybe some players, stuff like that, to really get the volume up.
Yeah, that's good tips for sure, man. Here's another section where I know Joe, you've got a lot of input here. Is setting up the image. Now that's really key to getting your your clicks and getting your volume there. If you don't have a great image or something that's catchy or something that's proven to work on a campaign, you're going to struggle a little bit, even if your page copy or your ad copy is really dead on. You need a good image, and you need to be able to test. Now, these are some of the things that I've noticed when I've run Facebook campaigns, is that a lot of the offers that I've had, they could apply to women, and even if it's kind of like an apply to men or women, like, say, auto insurance or something like that, I've always had luck with the happy, smiling woman for some reason. And so I always find myself, if I can slide a smiley, happy woman onto my ad, I usually get a little bit better of a click-through rate. Another thing is adding borders. I know that there's quite a few people talking about it, but I think that adding the borders usually works out from what I've noticed. Amateur images do a lot better for me than do, say, like iStock photo images. Sometimes you can grab some fairly amateur looking images off of iStock, and you can doctor them up. There's many filters you can run through them, and to make them look like they're a little bit more amateur than they actually are. But if you can get regular snapshots, that's what I usually prefer. And unless an offer applies to a baby, I avoid babies like they're the plague. Unless it's like a, obviously like a formula, like free formula for a year, or, do I have the cutest baby contest, something like that. Joe, what do you like to?
Well, besides just adding a border, the other thing I've had success with is basically adding things like a little online button, not necessarily saying online, but add like a little green circle at the top corner. You can try adding like a little star. Sometimes it won't get past Facebook. It really depends. Like, they've cracked down a lot on that. But if you can get it through, like, you can get really good click-through rates.
That's interesting. That's good. You know what? That brings up a thing. I can't remember who it was I was talking to, but they showed me a screen capture of a Facebook ad that looked like it had a little call to action button with it, even with like the little hand-drawn circle around it.
Yeah, that'll increase it as well. Anything like arrows, red arrows, stuff like that will increase it a lot.
But they don't allow any type of animation, right?
No, definitely not.
Yeah. All right. If it's a big company that you can legally get away with showing logos or something like that, logos do pretty well. And for info products, if it's somebody that's recognizable to the audience, I usually try to use that face. Or if it's a developer of the product that's recognizable, try to use their face on that as well. All right, we're going to move into some important points here. I want to tell you guys we're going to have a Q&A session for the end portion of this after I finish up my presentation here, and then and then we'll get into the F portal deal as well. All right, so the first super important point is that Facebook is different than any other pay-per-click platform. You got to remember that, because your AdWords ads are not going to port over to Facebook as they are. It doesn't usually work. I've never seen it work. So that's super important to know. It's not saying you can't change them to fit, but you can't go about it the same informational way. You need to get their attention. Right. A big reason for this is that the audience, they're in more of a social mindset. They're not looking for things, like they're not out there looking for something to fix their colon problem, or looking for a dating service. They're chatting with people, they're playing games, and we need to interrupt them a little bit and take them away from what they're doing and reel them in and get them on our landing page. Some of the tips that we have for the best image and click-through rate is obviously try to be unique. Focus in on raising the click-through rate. Joe, do you want to tell us a little bit about how raising your click-through rate impacts your campaign?
Yeah, definitely. Especially for dating, or really, I guess any campaign. If you're gonna have, like, a lot of people aim for 0.1 click percent or higher, that can get you all right results. Like, say for example, you have a campaign that is a suggested bid of 50 cents, and you get a 0.1 click-through rate. You might be able to lower that a little bit, but if you go all out and you end up with a 0.2 or even a 0.3% click-through rate, you're going to be paying pennies for clicks. Like 0.2, I would say you'll probably end up paying somewhere around maybe 10 cents a click. 0.3, you're going to be around the 5 cent range, maybe even cheaper. So that's really going to boost up your ROI a lot, is focusing on basically just getting your images, just getting your higher click-through rate.
Joe, when you were getting those kind of click-through rates, what was the traffic numbers looking like that were coming from Facebook for your campaigns?
It's huge volume. I mean, like, when I was doing those, I was able to spend as much as they could give me, hundreds to, I've had one campaign that was doing about 1,000 a day. Like, with the increased click-through rate, they're just going to give you pretty much all of the traffic that they can.
That's awesome. Did your hardware hold out?
Yeah, it didn't do bad at all. I mean, with pay-per-view, you're getting so many more impressions anyway. Yeah. So Facebook isn't bad at all.
Okay. What do you like to use to track your Facebook campaigns?
I actually use CPV Lab. I've used Prosper for it, but like with CPV Lab, you can actually split test the landing pages. You can set exactly what percentage you want to go to the landing page. You can do like 50% to direct link, 50 to landing page. You can set up multiple landing pages and put in specific percentages for those. There's a ton of stuff you can do with it.
Yeah, that's awesome. They are very flexible for sure. Okay, we talked a little bit already about adding borders. Red borders work pretty well. Black borders sometimes, and I've even experimented a little bit with shaped borders. Joe, have you ever used shaped borders
I haven't done it a whole lot in Facebook, but I've been doing it in Plenty of Fish recently, and you can do a lot of really weird borders. It's completely new to people, so the click-through rate is a lot higher. And then not only that, but aside from like borders and everything, if you go into Photoshop with your image, try increasing things like the exposure on it or the vibrance, changing the color. Yeah, saturation. Say if there's a person, change the hair color to something crazy like blue, bulge out the eyes, add blood, do different things that like people wouldn't normally see. And that's really going to boost your click-through rate up a lot.
One that I liked that John Mizell talked about once was he liked to get a picture of a really pretty girl and pencil on like a mustache and a beard on her. He said he liked to do that one. So I added in here, play with image saturation after you and I had talked. I've seen if, you can actually test to see if an image, a left-facing image does better than, say, a right-facing image. Because sometimes for some reason, just the combination of them, and you could just flip the image in Photoshop, horizontally and, get that mirror image and test that as well. We're big in F Playbook. We're very big on telling you to test everything and, keep track of all this testing because that's the hard data is what's going to help you out. Testing color versus black and white. Have you ever tried that, messing with that, Joe?
Actually, I haven't done black and white. I've always just stuck with color. It's interesting. I might try that.
Yeah, it's definitely worth a shot. And you talked about the bulgy eyes too. I like to stretch things and make odd exaggerations, like pull somebody's head out, extra big so they look like they've got
increase
some
the
kind
nose, too. There's a lot of things, the ears, anything facial features like that will do well.
Yeah. All right. Now we'll get into a little bit of the hot niches that I've noticed according to the social intelligence tool. When we first created this tool was back in mid to late December. So it's been pulling data since then, and I've been looking at the data ever since, almost every day, as I'm uploading it and checking it out. And so there's definitely some things that I've been noticing in the 13 profiles that we currently have, and I'm sure that this list is going to grow quite a bit as I expand them on the age ranges and group them a little bit tighter, actually a lot tighter. But really the first one of them that I'm taking action on right now is a site for Pandora bracelets. I've noticed inside of the tool that around Christmas it was pretty big, but I would like to try to drive some Facebook traffic to my own website that I'm doing some Amazon on. So with this Pandora site, what I'm doing is really a mixture of SEO and also paid Facebook traffic. Like another good thing about sending them then to Facebook is that to Amazon is obviously that they then get cookied, which is nice because Amazon does a pretty good job of cross-selling people, selling them on things that they're once they're there, Amazon doesn't like to let them go. Another one that I've seen like crazy are slot apps and various slot machine type games, flash games or Facebook apps. Just enormous. Every time I go in there, somebody's, they're seeing the 777s. Senior people meet. I went over that and why I think that that's a pretty hot niche in Facebook, especially for obviously the older age groups. And background checks. Now, my buddy Dan had kind of disagreed on this one with me, but it's still in there for some reason. Background checks are still making money in Facebook, and because they're not going away. I know he had a hard time running that, but I haven't tried it quite yet, but I have seen it's definitely in there as a recurring theme. So that's what's big in according to the social intelligence tool. Now let's get into the special deal for AF Portal. that I'll just go over this real quick, and then we'll get to your questions. The special OfferVault deal it's only available at this URL. So it's fportal.com/offervault. And what that's going to bring you to is a registration screen where you can create your your basic username, and then you'll be taken to a screen where you can choose either monthly option, yearly option, or lifetime option. Right now, we've really got it down. Currently, it's $37 a month, but on that page, it's starting at $27. Now we're doing this where with every purchase, that price gets bumped up a little bit until it reaches $37. So right now, there's a good deal at $27 for the monthly. The yearly, this is the first time we've ever given away a yearly membership to Portal, and that one is starting at $225 a year. And again, we have never done that, and probably won't keep it, but for right now, for the next 72 hours or 3 days or so, that's what it's going to be. Lifetime, again, this is the only time I've ever done a lifetime membership, so that's starting at $487. So if you wanted to get into Portal and stay there, you can see how big of a savings that is off of $37 a month. We've got some members that have been paying that the entire time and have spent more than that. So that's really a good bargain. And again, that URL is fportal.com/offervault. All right, Joe, is there anything that you want to add in there?
Nothing off the top of my head that I can think of, but I'm interested in the questions to see what people are having to say.
Yeah, definitely. It's hey, David, how you feeling?
Yeah, I'm here.
You're good? Okay. Did you want to add anything to what we said before we start going over some of these questions?
No, I think that's good. Let's see what anybody wants to talk about. Maybe that could kind of shape the conversation.
I was looking through the questions, and a couple of things that stood out. Can you search in social intelligence in different countries?
That is not added on yet, but it's on the list. It's on the very short list that it's going in. It's a little bit tricky because of languages, and there's a lot of variables that go into what Facebook is going to be showing you, and just like Google or anything else. But it doesn't all have to do with what you say your address is. So if you say you're from France, but you're not speaking French and you're not logging in from a proxy in France, chances are they're not going to be giving you the ads that you're really looking for. So that's something that's a challenge, but it's, this tool has been a challenge to program from day one, but so it's, not something we're too intimidated by.
Now, I was going to put a cheap comment in as a guy who's involved in images, and just when you're talking about photos that work and candid or snapshot style photos, comment on your seniors meet. That guy right there versus the other two, as you said, the Southern 49 and the guy who knows where he came from. He looked a little bit like an indulged guy from the what do you call it? Academy Awards the other night.
Him.
Yeah.
John Stamos wannabe.
Yeah, right. Like he looks suspicious right off the bat because of his head tilt and the shadow. So it doesn't matter how great the image was. That guy's going to give you a bit of a, what the hell is this?
Yeah.
The guy below him is looking, okay, but beards don't go over good in a lot of demographics unless you're of a certain age. He's too young to have a distinguished beard, and his face is the wrong shape. The guy on top, if he wasn't chosen, and I'm going to stick my neck out and say that is a stock or that is a pro shot that's been worked over. But there are several reasons why that guy's going to be so popular. He's outdoors, big thing. He's an older guy outdoors. He looks good. He's got a little touch of gray, put a shadow around him. And I hate to say it, but gay or straight, male or female, he's going to draw your attention right away because he fits that good-looking guy living the outdoor life that people my age, we'd like to be that way, although we're stuck in the basement most of the time. That's a big thing.
Yeah, he looks like he's either out sailing or doing something outdoors, possibly skiing.
Yeah, and when you talked about doctoring images, if with playful images and, like you say, face bulging, turning people into cartoons, all of that really works good. I would hazard a guess that going black and white for the next short little while is going to have an interesting side effect because of that movie. What the hell was it called? The black and white one that won the Academy Award, The Artist. Anything that's caught the attention of the public is immediately going to carry over into, oh, that looks interesting. So for the next couple of months, throw black and white out and see what happens.
Yeah. I was just reading some of these initial questions here. I didn't mean to make this into a commercial. Okay. So let's see. Is there a way for us to get a copy of the slides? I just got in. My apologies. Yeah, I guess, Jarek, we have the replay of the webinar. I don't have this in a PowerPoint version. Let's see. Rick, do you see any interesting questions? Let's see, here's one. I was just kicked out of Facebook for violating guidelines. What do I do? Go away and die.
Yeah, is Facebook really
I commented
tough as AdSense to get back in?
it's not as tough as AdWords, no, but if you're going to do any serious marketing on Facebook, you probably, honestly do want to have a method of getting new accounts. People think the world ends when they get their Facebook account and, they're running stuff and then it gets banned. But seriously, the guys that are doing a lot of money on Facebook, just the honest truth is that they're just churning through campaigns over and over. So it depends on how far you want to push it. I mean, you can, keep your account in good standing, and keep that one account. But if you're doing anything that's pushing it a little bit, you kind of got to have a system for, getting a new account.
Hey, David, maybe you could take this one. How do you guys think the upcoming premium ads are going to affect affiliate marketing on Facebook?
I'm not totally sure yet. I just read a little bit about it. I mean, it seems like a direction that Facebook is going in is obviously, wanting to get more corporate advertisers because, they spend a lot more than affiliates with a lot less hassle. So, but I think there'll always be room for affiliate marketing on Facebook, and it's such a huge traffic source. I mean, it's one of the few traffic sources out there right now that you can get started in fairly easily and generate a ton of volume.
Okay. I missed Carlos C's question here in the Hispanic market. What affiliate program is good? I've never really targeted strictly Hispanics. Have either of you guys?
On Facebook or just anything?
I guess he's just really asking about any affiliate program. I mean, I would imagine some of the Hispanic-focused dating programs.
Well, let's see. I mean, there are a few. I can't think of any names off the top of my head, but there are some networks that focus a lot on Spanish or Latin American offers. A lot of the CPA networks actually have, offers in different languages right now. A lot of them are really getting into the international side of things.
Okay. Question about AdMob. I'm not familiar with AdMob. Been waiting for 3 days for AdMob to approve my campaigns. Daniel, I would imagine you talk to your manager, or do you guys work with? Do either of you guys work with AdMob?
I don't really
I haven't messed with them.
Okay. How about the Asian market? For some reason, it is in Asia that I have found success. Well, a lot of international questions here. I'm not a very big international marketer. So that's a little bit out of my comfort zone.
I haven't messed with Asia, but I have messed with like a lot of European countries. And yeah, with international, you're going to get extremely cheap clicks and usually a lot higher conversion rates I've experienced as well. So it's a good market to get into, and the volume is starting to get up there as well.
I just went into OfferVault and did a generic Spanish search, and up popped a bunch of stuff, including something that's up to $220 for CPA leads. So I'm sure that there's options in there for stuff that would probably do pretty well on these. And as you pointed out, international stuff might have a better option on price point.
Yeah, international usually, at least for dating, usually pays a lot better than like US. So.
Yeah, here we've got a $32 commission on amigos.com. Yeah, you can't beat OfferVault for looking through this stuff. That's always where I go next when I find something inside of that spy tools that catches my attention. Let's see. Derek's asking, is it possible to use your program to market for a multi-level marketing? I don't do MLM. I think I've seen a couple of guys in the AF Playbook forum that have done multi-level marketing. I could imagine, it's great. It's a great way to generate leads. And if, from what I understand, multi-level marketing is really all about leads and that personal contact. So I think that, AF Portal would definitely be a good asset to you if you're, using it to spy and to look for, competing, competitors and search volumes and all that kind of stuff for, creating a lead generation campaign. I've seen lead gen campaigns on Facebook as well. Have you guys seen anything like that?
Yeah, I've seen a lot of that as well.
Yeah, there's also, I know around a little bit during Christmas and after Christmas, I saw one that was a co-reg where it took them through a co-reg path of, several different lead generation type stuff before they got to their, hick nickname or whatever it was at the end of all the email submits that they have to wade through.
Yeah, usually now they're starting to ban a lot of it if they catch you, but if you can make a landing page that pretty much just doesn't look like co-reg and get it through, you can make a lot of money off of that. There's a lot of people doing good on it right now.
You would have to think that a campaign like that would be kind of churn and burn.
Yeah, that's one of the things where you're going to need multiple accounts.
Yeah. All right. So is there any other questions about really Facebook, AF Portal, any other internet marketing type of questions while we have myself and David and Joe on the line?
Corey, as far as the profiles that you have built in AF Portal, those are the things you've designed. Can a user create their own profile to sort of test, or are they relying on the ones you're generating at the back end?
They're relying on the ones that we're generating on the back end. It's very intensive to get a new profile that's going to return good data from Facebook. There's several steps involved in creating a legitimate profile. There's phone calls that, phone call validations. They do all kinds of different validations at this point. So it's kind of a pain, but what a member could do would be just to either call me or shoot me an email and do a request, because I am, always in the process of creating these new profiles. And, so I'd be very happy to take some requests for those.
So that's why this is not something you can screw around with, pardon my Swedish, on your own, with making your own profiles for research purposes. You can't get them approved properly, right?
Yeah, what it would really take would be a private install of the Facebook Spy bot and collecting your own data for your own database, which would be a whole different licensing thing, which I'd be open to as well. So that would just be a matter of talking about exactly what somebody would need done.
Shooting my piggy bank several times, I take it.
Yeah, something like that. Because it's not something you can send off to an intern and say, make it happen.
Here's a question from the crowd. Is there a specific size you like to target, like a 200,000 niche? Is that too big, or 1,000 niche too small? Do you like to look for things with a manageable range, or is bigger the better way to go?
What I've done is take a look at the offer and let the offer tell me. I figure that if an offer is running for a long time and it's consistent, that's really the direction I'm going. Joe or David, do you have do you take this by size of the market first and then match an offer to that demographic?
I usually take the offer first and match it, but when you're taking the demographics, you want to target. I've done campaigns that are targeting a couple million, and when you do that, like, that's a huge demographic. So you really want to focus on getting your cost per click as low as possible quickly, so you don't pretty much just lose your ass.
Okay.
If you're gonna do something like maybe you said 200,000, that's pretty good. I usually stick with 100,000 or more. Going below that is very tough to get good volume. But if it's anywhere between like 100,000 and $1 million, you're gonna do good with cost per click usually. So that's what I would focus on. And then once you do have a successful campaign, get into the 1 million plus range.
Okay. So you like to start out between 100,000 and
start
$1
out
million?
a little bit low, yeah. Usually
Okay.
500,000 is pretty good to start.
Okay. Gotcha. Jarek is asking, which states are usually the most Facebook conversions friendly? I don't go down to the state level with this. I haven't geo-targeted really anything that's worth geo-targeting. Yeah. You said you just do country?
Just country. There are some offers that allow you to either some dating sites pay higher depending on what state it's from. Some loan companies don't accept certain, actually the same for auto insurance, don't accept certain states, so you can exclude those. But other than that, like usually most offers, I just select the country.
Okay. Yeah, I was thinking about doing a campaign for somebody that I know that does basement waterproofing. And is it possible to get it down to, say, maybe a tri-county area?
You can get down to the zip code.
To zip code, okay. All right, so here, JR is asking, any clickbank offers that convert well via Facebook ads? I haven't seen a lot of clickbank products.
If you can get them through.
It's impossible, really.
I did on the forum, I did a case study with Facebook and ClickBank a while back, and I got it profitable, but there just wasn't the volume to do much with it there. And part of it is like getting it through, and then part of it's the targeting. It's some of the offers they have, like on ClickBank, it's kind of hard to target demographically, or just target on Facebook. So I think you have a lot better luck doing CPA stuff.
Okay. Yeah, so that would be another reason why you don't see any of it up there.
Well, Facebook is about people wanting something quick and simple and easy, a simple question, a simple eye catch. They don't want to be led directly or an indication that you're selling them something right off the bat, correct?
Right. Yeah, absolutely.
And when you put a ClickBank offer up there, you're sort of stuck with, well, okay, here's a $9.95 offer for how to clean your teeth in 3 easy lessons or something. So I think that's, and as you said, Facebook doesn't want that kind of material on it, and it's kind of defeating the purpose of having it up there. Social media is not search engine driven. It's people sidetracked by other things, and it goes by the screen and they say, okay, what the hell is that?
Yeah, exactly. It's that interruption taking you away from that stalking that you're doing.
And that's where it comes back to your exciting image, something that grabs people attention right away. It's not that it doesn't matter what it pertains to so much as can you get them to look at it for 3 or 4 seconds and see something that is curiosity provoking. If it's in
Yeah,
that
exactly.
niche, then they're going to go look at it. Doesn't cost them to go look at it.
That's right. That's why there's there's a lot of hand drawn. Number one tip for losing your belly or something like that. You see those hand drawn banners around a lot, and those are the ones that usually catch my eye. Sometimes there's some movement in there, and you can't do movement inside of the Facebook ads, but yeah, that's one of those eye-catching things too. So, all right. Well, it looks like we're wrapping up here. We're approaching 10 o'clock. And this webinar is being recorded, and Rick is going to put it up on OfferVault. And we'll take one last question here from John. It said, for Facebook cost per click, is it best to start with low bids? What do you say, Joe?
You can try a couple different things. I've done both, starting with a little bit below the suggested amount. Usually when you do that, you get very low volume in the beginning, but you're already paying pretty low cost per click. It can work if you have ads that instantly have very high click-through rates, but if nothing really shows, they're not going to give you any volume after that. What I usually do, though, is bid either about halfway in between what the suggested is, all the way up to a little bit above the suggested price. And what that'll do is you'll end up paying pretty high in the beginning, but say you're split testing 25 ads, there's a good chance you're going to get a few really good ads in there, and those are the ones that are just going to shoot the volume up. And even if, say, you're bidding 50 cents cost per click, the bids are instantly going to go down with the high click-through rate. You're only going to be paying, anywhere from 10 cents to 20, 30. It's just going to go a lot more down, a lot more further.
Yeah, that's definitely the key there, is getting that click-through rate up.
Corey, when you
I would
put
just recommend going
that,
higher.
put your link off to that offer up there for folks to take one last look at, because I think that's important for people to consider, especially with this contest. Now, I'm going to ask, if I can, a rude question. It's a contest. You're going to give away. I don't have to qualify on the basis of anything, right? Do I? Do I have to lose 10 pounds or something to get in?
No, it's anybody that makes a purchase through the OfferVault link is eligible to win, the full year or the lifetime. So if they purchase a lifetime and they win the lifetime, obviously they just get the refund. Yearly, they'll bump up to a lifetime, and monthly bump up to the lifetime. So,
and are you going to announce this drawing on the AF Portal site?
Yeah, I'm going to post it on my AF Portal. Yeah, I'll post it on my afportal.net blog, and I'll contact the person directly through their PayPal email address and get them hooked up with that.
Check it out, guys. It looks like a pretty good value. And I'm just going to clarify, JR is asking, did you say bid near or below the low end? And I believe that Joe said no, bid about halfway up to a little over the suggested.
Halfway to a little bit over if you're looking for the most volume. You'll be able to judge campaigns much quicker.
Yeah, don't go too cheap, or you might as well just stay home. Thanks so much, guys.
I see one more question from Gene. He says, how will I select? I'll literally just, I'll put them all together and just pick somebody randomly out of a hat. Nothing super high tech. I'll just literally print it out of the spreadsheet, cut them up, and pick somebody out of that. So that's how I'll take care of that. And we'll do that in, we'll say, 72 hours. So what is that, 3 days?
It depends on which side of the date line you're on.
Okay, what's today? Tuesday? I'll answer Friday morning.
Okay. Well, okay. It's 10 p.m. Eastern time, and it's probably Thursday somewhere else where other people are. And everybody out there, thanks for tuning in, as we say. Check it out. Corey, David, and Joe are very good at what they do, and I have to tell you from experience, he puts an awful lot, as you can see, just to the way he makes these mind maps, which are a great way to present the information. But the tools are designed from a perspective of somebody who has spent a lot of time trying to figure out how to get around and in and out and get the best results. So you're getting information from people who do this on a daily basis. Thanks again, guys.
Excellent. Thanks for coming out, guys.